All right, all right, all right. We have our tea today. Currently, it is spiced red dragon chai tea. It is herbal, decaffeinated, uncaffeinated from Stash. So we've got our tea, we've got beautiful clouds around us, we've got fuzzy friends with us. I think we are ready to do this.
Hi, everyone. You're tuning in to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast, a space of epic positivity, radical self expression, and transformational growth. Join me in celebrating this beautiful thing we call life with even greater ease, flow, and authenticity.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast. I'm your host, Nikita, and I trust, hope, and expect you all are having a super duper delightful, wonderful day. Today, we are going to be tuning into our dream life and we are getting quantum with it. I hope you're excited. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys, but I love merging the mystical, the magical with the science-based facts that pull it all together, make it even more digestible, and it just seems even more fun to be able to know that what you're actually doing in your life is not only something playful, something like out of Harry Potter. For those of you Harry Potter fans, welcome. And while also being fact-based and intentional. So, today, what you can expect from this podcast is not only a lot of goodness, you can expect a little bit of deep diving. We're not going to get too crazy with it. However, we are going to get into a little bit of the basics in quantum mechanics. Don't be afraid, I'll guide you through it. So, we're going to talk a little bit about what is the observer effect? What is the field of potential? How we're not just manifesting, but we are specifically selecting the life that we would absolutely love living, while also being able to emotionally imprint our future reality in the now. You can also expect a little bit of a guided, not meditation, but a guided visualization for those of you who would love to really implement this in the here and now and be able to solidify all of the information and ground it into your physical reality right here and right now. So, if that sounds awesome to you, then keep on listening and or watching the rest of this podcast. So let's deep dive right on into it and let's talk the observer effect. Now, in quantum physics, there are tiny particles like electrons that exist in the form of waves. Now, these particular waves can exist in many potentialities until they are observed. And once they are observed, what ends up happening is that they collapse into a single outcome. Now, for us intentional creators and co-creators of the life that we would absolutely love living, what does this even mean for us? Now, for many of us, and or all of us, we are operating on 95% of the subconscious side of our nature, which means that for many of us, we are living on autopilot pretty much on a daily basis. Now, in terms of quantum physics, it means that we are continuously observing and collapsing time-space reality into a predictable outcome. This is often why much of our life looks pretty much the same every single day. Now, if you are obsessing over what can consistently go wrong in your life, what you are doing is collapsing fear-based timelines to confirm your predictions about what is going to happen. And on the flip side, when you are focusing on your dream, why life is going absolutely spectacularly for you, why you're already successful, when you visualize and you feel into why you're so lucky, why life is just unfolding in the most beautiful way, it means you are observing A life that hasn't happened yet, but you are making it what will happen for you. Remember that our imagination is the most beautiful and fundamental aspect of how we create our life. When we're using our beautiful imaginations to conjure up in our mind all the ways in which life sucks, why we hate our boss, why we don't want to go to our work every day, why we're in chronic illness all the time. You, just by feeling into and using your imagination, are observing all of the reasons why things aren't going to go right for you, in which case, all of the waves, the particles, are collapsing to make it so you are creating the life that you are going to be living every single moment. And so, as conscious co creators, we want to be very, very intentional about what we are thinking. Stand guard at the portal of our mind space and be intentional about what we are letting rent space in our mind. Like Gandalf, we say, "You shall not pass." Even when up until now, it's been really common for many of us to think fearful based thoughts, to think about the worry, to think about why it's not going to go right, to think about why it's not possible for us. And that's only because 95% of what we've been thinking up until now has been along those lines. So I just want to take a pause here and say it's a-okay for that to be a part of our life right now. However, in order to make change, everything is created twice. First in thought, then in form. And so, as we are getting all scientific-y about this and thinking, okay, well, if everything exists as a potential, it means that there's absolutely a version of me already living the life that I would absolutely love living. What does that feel like, look like, smell like, taste like? I'm going to guide this through. I'm going to guide you through this later on in the episode, but I just want to plant some seeds in the beginning of this podcast to start helping manifest and select the life that you would love living right here and right now as a potential and then eventually into your material reality. Remember that what you look for, you will absolutely find. And what you observe, you will influence, and rather are influencing. You are far more powerful than any circumstance, situation, and condition. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the field of infinite potential. Now, what we call the quantum field is like holding energetic space for all potentialities in our life. This means that all possibilities, all timelines, all versions of you and the life that you would absolutely love living exists already. If you can think it up, it can be built up. And if you get to observe it by thinking it, by feeling into it, by smelling it, by tasting it, just within your beautiful mind space, it already exists. Now, we can think of matter and energy being interchangeable. This means that everything starts out as energy in the quantum field before it collapses and becomes a single outcome and then materially and becomes matter in our space-time reality. And you can also think about it like this. The quantum field of all possibility is like a cosmic menu of sorts. You're not begging the universe for more money, for more time, for the love of your life, for greater and even more vibrant health. No, no, no. You are going to this cosmic menu and you are saying, I would absolutely love a beautiful, loving, radiant, vibrant relationship with a loving, caring partner, as well as deep, rich, meaningful relationships in all aspects of my life. Yes, absolutely, I would love a heaping portion of financial stability for time and money freedom to go wherever I want, whenever I want, because I would love that. I would love to take my family on a vacation to Paris while we're eating croissants and looking at the Eiffel Tower, people watching as we're listening to all the beautiful French cuties and listening to the beautiful French music around us. Absolutely, I would love a side order of health and radiant health and vitality. My skin clear and beautiful and radiating from the inside out, where people say, wow, your hair is looking amazing, so luscious, so voluminous. Your eyes sparkle like the soul that is within you that you are. And absolutely, I would love to finish off my decadent dinner and 5 meal course with a dessert of living into the dreams of my hearts, living passionately, vibrantly, where the work that I am doing is not only uplifting me, it's serving my community, bringing life to others, where I'm feeling every single day that I love going to work, or I don't really have to work at all, that I get to sit and I garden and all the fruits and vegetables that I am procuring, I get to give to the people I love and make beautiful, decadent, rich food out of that I get to serve to the people that I love most dearly. This is how we are intentional in the field of infinite possibility. When we are just as specific as we are when we go out to a restaurant, the universe is just as specific and definite with us. And I also want to add in that our energetic state is our currency. And what this means is that when we absolutely for surezies know that we are getting like a spaghetti bolognese with like delicious hearty meatballs on top and fresh Parmesan grated, and we're excited. Our mouth is already salivating in anticipation and expectancy of this spaghetti dish of deliciousness. It is the same thing with our expectancy of the life that we would love living in all aspects of our life. When you are feeling into visualizing and conjuring up in your beautiful mind space relationships, health and well-being, your time and money freedom, and your vocation, and you expect it to happen, you continue to live into your life with this expectancy, then the universe shall deliver. Your energy and your energetic state is your currency, which means that you are full of life. You are loving every single day that you get to live into your life. You're feeling whole. You're feeling happy. You're feeling gratitude and joy. Your energetic currency has to match what you are visualizing, or there's conflict. If you are feeling angry, frustrated, guilty, jealous, judgment, discrimination, shame, that is not on par with the life you say that you would absolutely love living. And this is also where we must choose to stand guard at the portal of our mind. And this is where we begin to practice what it means to live into it energetically first, and then in reality. This is where we give ourselves the opportunity to play a little bit and to hold expectations for its material manifestation. And yet, there's also this peaceful letting go that as you're leaning into it, you say, this is something even greater still. Yes, I would absolutely love to be sitting, eating a buttery croissant, looking at the Eiffel Tower, sitting with my family and listening to beautiful French music. I would love that. And I am absolutely okay with it never actually happening. Because if I can think it and feeling, if I can think it and I can feel it in the field of infinite potential, then if God, spirit, source, love, light has something even greater for me, then I, as this vessel of life, am receptive to it. And this is where we get into how we're not necessarily just manifesting, but we are selecting the reality that we would absolutely love living. Now, traditional ways of thinking says that I must become successful. Quantum thinking says I am already successful and success already exists for me. Two different ways of thinking about this. Becoming successful means you are not successful right now. It means that you are chasing and getting to the potential version of you, but you are not there yet. Quantum thinking says we must become before we receive. It means we must already think ourselves successful in whatever capacity that means. And then success and everything in alignment with even greater success becomes a part of our life. This means that we specifically select the version of us that we would absolutely love to be, not later, but now. And examples of selecting could be choosing thoughts that align with the version of you, feeling into his or her emotions already, i.e., love, joy, gratitude, peace, excitement, vibrancy, passion, making choices based upon his or her confidence in the outcome, not on your current version of you, on fearful based actions and or behaviors. It also means walking through your day as if the version of you and the life that you are living is continuously unfolding for you. Remember that we are not wishing for this to happen. We are inhabiting the version of us that we would love to be in the here and now. Now, this does take practice because, as I mentioned before, if 95% of our daily habits are subconscious, it means that when we're thinking of what we would love to have consciously, subconsciously, there's going to be a version of us that is going to want to self-sabotage, not because we don't want it. We absolutely want to have more time and money freedom, vibrant health and vitality, greater, deeper, richer, loving relationships, a passionate vocation that we can give our gifts and talents. Of course, we want that. We wouldn't be here today if we didn't want that. We all have desires and things that mean something to us that would help make our lives even more fulfilling when we think about it. And so this is when we start putting our thoughts and our energy into our actions as every day becomes an even greater opportunity to shift and rewire our subconscious patterns to be what we want to be and execute every single day. And so this is where repetition and consistency is key. That yes, in quantum physics, when we observe something, it means it collapses and becomes exactly what we are thinking about it just because our observation is so powerful. That's the first key to remember that your ability to imagine something, to feel into it when you really think about it, that, oh my God, wow, I can think about it. And then as the wave comes and it says, oh, I'm observing peace and health and vitality and greater life, bam, there it is. It's already being observed. That's powerful. Think about that first. And then, secondly, in the field of infinite potential, that not only if I can think about it and feel it, it's a possibility. Yes, it means everything. The version of you already exists. Great. That's awesome to know. Okay, so thankful for quantum physics for allowing me to understand that scientifically, if I can think it, it's a reality. How does that help us in the here and now when our subconscious wants to contract us back to our familiar? Consistency, repetition will be like your bread and butter. It doesn't have to be intense, it just has to be consistent. And so, this is when we select the reality that we want to see and have unfold materially in our life. How do we do this? We visualize, we get real specific on what it is that we absolutely want to see. Yes, it's awesome to say, I'd love to have even more money in my life, but if $5 shows up on your doorstep and you're like, wow, great, $5, but I'd love even more, big or small is not really in the universe's vocabulary. That's our vocabulary. What's big to someone is fantastically small to another. What's small to another person can be feeling like you've won the jackpot. Everything is subjective and relative to our perspective. And this is where we continue to lean into what it is we would love to have and visualizing and feeling into what it means to live into a greater version of ourselves. And so when I ask you in this next guided, not meditation, but guided visualization, I'll ask you if you haven't done so already to check out Perfectly Powerfully You for a free guided visualization for how you can lean into and really hone in on creating the life that you would absolutely love living. I'll leave the link in the description box down below for those of you who want just a free PDF and a free video to work through, where we go through every step of every dimension of your life, your health and well-being, your love and relationships, your vocation, your time and money freedom. We want to get specific here because it means that specificity will be your greatest power. It will also be your greatest asset as you continue to lean into this and you continue to visualize, step into a place of a meditative state, or just in your daily life, and you're just thinking about all the wonderful things that are unfolding for you. Clarity is your greatest power here. So if you would love, pause this video now, pause this podcast now, and go check out the 10 to 12 minute video and allow yourself that space just to write out what it is you would love. And if it's just a basic blueprint right now, you can change it whenever you want. But having the foundation and the basics now will help you later on. All right, so I'm assuming that you've either done this or you're going to be doing this later. However, let's get into this guided visualization. Now, if you are in a space to do so, I will ask you to close your eyes and just bring yourself into this place and space of neutrality. The only way that this will not work for you is if you have anything that is holding you back mentally, saying that this isn't going to work, this is a bunch of hooey, I don't expect this to work, then of course it's not going to work for you. A blocked mind will be the first way energetically to block anything to come to you. So, the invitation here is to open your mind, open your heart, and be receptive of something magical happening for you. Be surprised and delighted about the beautiful ways that quantum physics and magic can merge for you today. Now, if you haven't done so already, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Imagine it's 3 years from now and it's all worked out for you. You have the most vibrant, beautiful, loving relationship with a caring partner who wants only the best and highest intentions for you. What are you doing with this person? Are you laughing and playing on the beach? Are you standing around the kitchen stove and concocting a beautiful meal? Smell the air around you. Feel the person gently touching you on the shoulder or holding your hand. What does your health look like? Do you feel energetic and vibrant? Is there a smile on your face with how proud you are for running that extra mile or for doing a handstand when you've never been able to do one before? Are you nourishing your body with delicious food? What do they look like? What does it taste like to bite into that apple? When you think about your vocation, what are you doing? Are you feeling passionate and excited to wake up every day and give your gifts and talents to the world? Can you hear all the people saying, "Wow, thank you so much for doing this. We're so thankful to have you. What you're doing now is making such a beautiful difference in our lives. Thank you for taking this time. We appreciate you." And how about your time and money freedom? What are you doing? What does it look like? Are you sitting in a cafe, sipping a cafe au lait, and looking at the Eiffel Tower and smelling the buttery croissant as you're cracking it open and taking a whiff of the yeast and the warmth that's kissing your skin? Are you listening to the beautiful French music and violin around you? Are you hearing the murmurs of people? Are you hearing the laughter of your family and friends around you? In these moments, allow yourself to physically smile, for your breath to be easier, for your shoulders to relax, and for this quiet, calm confidence to just overtake you that everything is going exactly as you are imagining, and that this is your life right now. And just notice how natural this life feels for you and how this just is your reality. That is not hard, it's actually really easy. And that the more prosperous you are, the more prosperous everyone else around you is as well. Now, if you haven't done so already, I'll invite you to come back to space, open your eyes, and just take a big, deep breath and be so thankful that this is your life right now. And feel how good it feels knowing that it's going to continue to unfold in even greater ways for you. By you visualizing this right now, you have collapsed time and space. You have observed energy into a single outcome. You did that right now. That's powerful stuff. Now, what happens is just like a snowball builds up intensity, builds up momentum, builds up physicality as it's snowballing down a hill. The more you continue to check back in with whatever you've chosen to create, whatever you've chosen to select as your next outcome, the more you check in with it, the more it becomes reality. Manifestation is a physical byproduct of a dominant vibration. You select it, you visualize it, you create it. You feel it, you embody it, you take action on it. And this is eventually what will manifest in your material reality. It's not just magic, this is science. Now, I want you to now ask yourself, what does this version of me believe about myself? How does he or she carry herself? And what decision would he or she make today that would move them in the direction of their unfolding dream? Now, I want to share a story about how our timeline can accelerate just by thinking about it. Now, it can be something really small or it can be something that feels really big. Again, our subjective understanding of reality is going to differ depending on who we are and what we believe about ourselves. Now, my friend Eva and I, you've probably seen and or heard her on the podcast. We are looking forward to moving in with each other soon. Now, up until now, when we were talking about it, she was saying, hey, a spot's going to open up. I know you're looking for a new place to call home. Well, come April 2026, my roommate is planning on moving out and I would love for you to move in. And I said, oh my God, great. I would absolutely love that. Now, at the level of fact, my current place that I'm living in as of July 2025, come September, I'd have to move out. And so it was my intention to go to New Zealand, spend another working holiday for several months until I come back to Canada and then transition into the home where I would live in with my friend Eva come April. Now, we kept holding intentions for this. I was very relaxed about the timeline. I said, fantastic, I will come in April. And we were just thinking, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so great if we bought a new sectional, if we changed the lighting, that we would start doing some painting. And we were just getting really excited. We started to lean into what it meant with expectation that we would be moving in together and all the beautiful things that would unfold, the hosting, the parties, the delicious food that we would make. And there was so much energy, even before it's even happened, continuously poured into this. And again, without expectation about it coming sooner rather than later, we just knew that eventually it was going to happen. We said April 2026, and that was going to happen. Now, this was what we were thinking about, dreaming up, if you will, about a month ago. Now, let's fast forward a couple weeks. And at the level of fact, her roommate said, "Hey, actually, I'm moving out sooner. Come September, I'll be gone, so you'll need to find a new roommate." Ba ba ba, here I am. A the At the level of fact, the exact time that I had to move out of my current place is when the next available spot will be open and receptive to me moving in even sooner so that we get to materially live into this reality as roommates. Now, this is a very short story, small story, but an intentional and impactful story that we had one visualized what it would look like to move in. We set a timeline, but we were really relaxed about when it would happen. We just knew with expectancy that it would happen. We would talk about it. We would energize it with feeling excited, joyful, looking forward to it, grateful for the opportunity to get to do it, how wonderful it would be when it happened. And so we would think about it even before it happened in our material reality. And that just the very fact that it was happening sooner rather than later is wonderful. But it didn't matter about the timeline because time and space collapsed for us. We visualized it, we energetically embodied it, and we were taking action steps every single moment we could, every inspired action to help make this a reality. And the universe said, okay, let's open something up sooner rather than later for Eva's current roommate, and let's allow this timeline to unfold in the best and perfect way. If it happened later, great. It just so happened that this happened sooner. Now, for you and the life that you would love living, would you be open to it happening sooner? Just by thinking more about it, by putting energy into it, by taking an action step daily, are you open for it happening in the right and perfect way for you to continue to live into it? Now, let's talk a little bit more about emotional imprinting, because this is going to help lock in what you are visualizing into your nervous system to allow your body and your mind to be coherent with the reality you say that you would absolutely love living. Now, when you combine visualization with an elevated emotion, thank you, Joe Dispenza, what you do is that you energize and imprint this experience into your reality as if it's already happening. Our body and our mind is very, very objective. It does not know whether what you're experiencing right now is your reality versus what you're choosing to visualize and energetically feel into without it actually being material in your surroundings. What does this mean for us as conscious co-creators? It means that if clarity is power and your energetic state is your currency, combining the two means that you are changing the energetic blueprint of your body. When you think about something, you're sending a cascade of hormones that are changing the fundamental makeup of your body. When you think fearful thoughts and you energetically resonate with fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, judgment, lower vibration energy, that's changing the fundamental makeup of your body. And energetically, it's shortening your energetic field. On the flip side, this means that you're a magnet for everything in alignment with that. However, when you're thinking passionate thoughts, excited thoughts, thoughts that get you revved up and ready to go, you are expanding. You can feel it. Like when you get shivers down your spine or something feels just really, really good, and you can feel it vibrate and expand. You feel uplifted and enlightened. When you visualize those thoughts and you say joyful and you feel joyful, energetic, loved, whole, passionate, excited, vibrant, expansive, that is widening your field. And this is attracting like a magnet everything in alignment with that. You are energetically signaling into the field your future as if it's happening now. You are no longer the person who's trying to chase and become successful. You are the person saying, I am successful right now. You can think of your emotions as the ink that stamps your manifestation in your reality and in the field of infinite potential. Now, this is all well and good. Visualize, embody, take action on. But how do we know if we're actually on the path of the life that we would love living? How do we know that what we're doing now is actually working? Well, one thing that I would highly recommend doing is being a social scientist, choosing to allow and embody the idea of being a guinea pig in your own life. Not only is it fun, it feels experimental, it feels more playful, but it allows you to, just like a scientist would, has a hypothesis, a theory, has step-by-step plan. If I do this, I'm expecting this. This is what I'm going to do. And how do I know if I'm on track or off track? You're creating, just like you would in science class, a step-by-step guideline and expectancy about what is going to happen. And so you implement. And something that I love doing is saying, okay, well, if I really, really, really knew that it was all going to work out, I'm already the successful woman that I am, living the life that I would love living. If I really knew with specificity that this was going to unfold and I am already her, what would she be doing right now? And I lean into it and I'll write that question down and I'll say, okay, what inspired action step can I take today to move me in the direction of my dream? And I'll write that down too. And I'll write down the specific action step. Sometimes it's drinking water instead of a cup of coffee. Sometimes it's going for a walk instead of watching TV. Sometimes it feels bigger, or what I perceive as bigger. Sometimes it's creating a mini paradigm busting series. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Check out if you would love to have a free paradigm busting PDF. For those of you who would love to lean into even more of what beliefs are holding you back and how we can shift them in the moment, I'll leave that in the description box down below as well. And so we can take this and implement it like the scientists we actually are. Now, when you feel energized and aligned, your results may not show up in your reality right now, but in your body, they feel like truth. And you'll know it feels like truth because it feels expansive. It feels exciting. It feels like a yes, yes, yes. As opposed to this feeling of, ooh, I don't know. Ooh, I don't think that's the right move. And you'll know what feels right for you. And another way you can channel this intuitive side of you is to stand up and to feel into your body and strengthen this intuitive muscle. Something you can do is yes for leaning forward, no when you lean back. And you can ask yourself very simple questions like, is my name Nikita? And I'll lean forward. Is my name Joe? And I'll lean backwards. Am I 28 years old? I'll lean forwards. Am I 42? I'll lean backwards. So you can start asking very basic questions that you know the answer to. And then you can start asking different questions and just trust your body to know the right answer for you. Next, look for the synchronicities. Synchronicities are things that align with what you have been thinking, feeling, or behaving. If you're thinking about buying a red car and you start seeing red cars everywhere, that's a synchronicity. Now, when you're leaning into even greater health and vitality, deeper relationships, or your vocation, when you start leaning into the specificities, you're going to start seeing the synchronicities that help align with the life you say that you are living. They may be small signs that confirm these shifts, or they may be completely unrelated things that just click into place. And something else that will come up on the path that you are choosing to live is some resistance. Because the old self, the 95% of the subconscious you that you've created, that you've built an identity around, is essentially dying. So it's going to start to panic and it's going to do everything in its power to keep the status quo because the new you, the new version of you, is now taking different action steps based upon new ways of thinking and feeling. And new ways of thinking and feeling can be very uncomfortable for your body because essentially it's the ego's job to keep you safe. And that the ego is the identity. And the identity is safe and comfortable in the predictable. Now, how we can make the new things that are coming up in your life more safe is by visualizing, is by embodying this version of you, is by signaling the genes, thank you, Joe Dispenza, ahead of the actual event. And so when the new you don't have to, again, chase and go get. You just start taking inspired action steps that say, okay, like this is who I am. And I'm thinking and feeling about this new version of me. I know that this is who I want to be because it feels expansive, it feels exciting, it feels joyful and vibrant, and I feel so excited that this is the who I'm choosing to become, but also it feels normal. It's just the right next step because this is exactly who I'm choosing to be. It's not something new because I visualized it so many times. It's just who I am. Now, when we're able to continue to do that, remember, you're a magnet. Everything that you are signaling around you is only vibrating in alignment with you. So we can expect some resistance to surface because the old you is dying and that can be uncomfortable. And the more we do this and the more you realize some of the ways in which our subconscious is going to try to default back to the norm, we don't have to be fearful of it. We just pay attention to the ways in which it surfaces and choose to take a step anyways. Now, one way this can show up in our life is through, again, paradigms. I do highly recommend checking out your paradigm emergency plan, the free PDF that I'll link down below. And or purchasing for 35 Canadian dollars the paradigm busting series that I've created that I have on the Perfectly Powerfully You website. These paradigms, thoughts, beliefs, and versions of us that are keeping us in the status quo are going to do their best effort to keep us in the status quo. And as conscious co-creators of the life that we would absolutely love living by our design, we're going to choose to embody something different. So it's not if a paradigm's going to come up, but when it does. And so we want to know what they are, know the ways in which they surface, and how we can easily shift them with even greater ease and flow and grace so that we can continue to live into these versions of us that we would love to be. And the final way that you can understand if you're on the path, you're receiving these inner nudges and you're not forcing an outcome. Remember the story about when I was expecting to move in with my friend Eva and I wasn't forcing the situation. I didn't say it had to be at this point. I was just open and receptive to it being even easier, expecting it to come at some point, and just surprised and delighted that it came even sooner. So we receive these intuitive nudges, but we're not forcing an outcome because force negates. So we're visualizing the life we would absolutely love living. We're feeling into it with expansion, with expectancy, with gratitude, with passion and joy. And we're taking these aligned steps as opposed to anxiety or fearful based steps. And we also learn how to trust our calm whispers. And so reminding us that if the version of you is already living the life that they would love living, they're not trying to go and get more money. They're not trying to go and get a beautiful relationship. They're not trying to go and get a better job. They already have it, and they're continuing to grow and deepen and expand what they already have. It's a very different way of living life, and it takes a little bit of work. And if you would love even more help on how we continue to align with it, then reach out to me. I'm so happy to have one-on-one sessions with people, a strategy session to help move you in the direction of where you would love to be, if it feels like the next best step for you. And for just right now and today, then take this time to go to the website, look at the free visualization video, and just jot down a blueprint for what it is you'd love to have in your life next. And as you continue to lean into it, you're going to grow and expand, and so is your dream. What you think of now is just a stepping stone, and you're going to grow and expand the container of what you can hold for the possibility of your life. And remember that as you continue to grow, it will grow. Ooh, I love talking about this today. How are you guys feeling? Are you feeling excited and expanded and passionate about what you are creating next? Because you are creating exactly what you are seeing in life. And coming from a more grounded, scientific way, it's really nice to know that life is working for us in every way possible. That as we are thinking and feeling, that we are changing things on a fundamental scale. And I don't know about you, but I feel like Harry Potter, Harry frickin' Potter, when I think about the ways in which that I am transforming my life just based upon what I'm thinking. Now, for those of you who would love to have even more goodness and radiance in your life, then I look forward to talking with you all in the next podcast. And until then, I trust, hope, and expect that you all have yourself a super duper spooper rest of your day. And I look forward to talking with you all next week. Thank you all for joining me today because it has been my absolute pleasure to be here with you. Make sure to give this podcast a 5-star review and share it with all your loved ones because it helps in creating even more awesome content. If you're interested in learning how to effortlessly create even more health, vitality, and time and money freedom, sign up for my free monthly vision workshop live over Zoom. Until then, I hope you all have a powerful day, and I look forward to chatting with you all real soon.